Hi and welcome. We are here overlooking beautiful Penrith and Sydney here in Australia, and I'm joined by Jessica Fox, World Junior Champion in C1 and K1, and also 3rd and 5th in the World Championships last year in Totson. So welcome, Jessica, and why don't you tell us a little bit about our location and what we're doing here?
Well, we're in the Blue Mountains, we're in the National Park, and as you can see there's an amazing view. Yeah, it's not that far from my house, and I love to come here. It's a great place.
So we're in Australia, but your mother's French and your father's from Great Britain. So, and do you consider yourself Australian, French, British? Where do you feel like you fit in mostly as when you look to yourself?
Well, I know I'm a bit of the three. I'm born in France, so I have my roots in France, but also in England, and I've pretty much grown up in Australia, so I know that I guess I'm a bit more Australian, but I like to think that I have all three in me.
Which flag do you like to represent, though, at the end of the day when you're in the race and you see a national anthem being played? Does the Australian national anthem speak the most to you, or how does that feel for you?
Now, yes, I've represented Australia at the Junior Worlds and at the Worlds, so I have to represent Australia. I want to, and it's that flag.
They're not forcing you, behind the scenes and stuff. Okay. So, when you began paddling, how old were you when you started? I mean, obviously you've grown up in this world with your parents both continuing to work and coach in this world of canoe kayak paddling. When did it start for you, and were you sort of pressured into it, or was it more just naturally in your genes and you just wanted to get out there on the whitewater?
Well, I don't know about in my genes, but I've kind of always paddled. You know, when I was really little, we'd go on holidays and we'd take the kayaks, and I didn't like it at first. I was always like, oh, it's not my sport, it's your sport. I don't want to do this. I'm a swimmer or a gymnast, because that's what I used to do. And then when I was about 11, 12, I was old enough to go on the whitewater, and that's when I started enjoying it. I made some friends and started paddling with them, and yeah, I just started to love it. So
gymnastics, do you continue in other sports, or are you mostly simply focused on paddling?
Now I'm mostly focused on paddling, but I did a lot of swimming until I realized how boring it was compared to my paddling, and I did gymnastics until I broke my arm, and then kept going with paddling.
Is it as dangerous, paddling? Would you consider it more dangerous or less dangerous than those other sports? I mean, I know it's much more exciting. Does that translate into danger and physical danger for you when you're out there? Do you feel nervousness and that kind of thing, or is it just sort of more exciting because of the lifestyle?
I'm not sure. I think with gymnastics it was very repetitive. It was always, okay, you do the same thing, and I broke my arm because I was, I guess, trying something new and it didn't go quite right. But in paddling, it's like you said, it's really exciting. There's always a new river, new things to explore, and I really like getting that adrenaline and that excitement. So I don't know, it's just...
I think people who are in lifestyle sports, such as kayaking, I think people can relate to that, and that's why they fall in love with it, and that's why, like, how old are you now?
16.
Will you be doing this when you're 90?
90. I don't know if my body will let me, we'll see.
Yeah.
I'll do it for as long as I can competitively, and then probably, later in life just for fun and relaxation, whatever.
Bringing out your kids someday like your parents did out on the water.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah. Here in the Blue Mountains, you described this as a location where we're at. I heard that you have a secret location that you enjoy paddling, and it's a gorge and it's got caves and all these kinds of wonderful things. Could you tell us a little bit about it without giving away the secret?
Well, I think a few people know about it, but it's actually just behind us, and you can get there by paddling up just on the flat on the river, or there's like a half an hour, 40-minute walk from my house along on a bush track, and it's just this amazing kind of just picturesque spot. And there's after a lot of rain, it runs sometimes. There's a bit of few rapids, but that's quite rare. So now we just go there for a nice swim in the rock pools and looking at the scenery and just relaxing.
That's wonderful. Is that a spot just for you and your family or friends, or have you brought other people there? Is it a place you mostly go on your own to reflect and just spend time in nature?
We usually, the first time I went was with family. We actually went on Christmas Day and there was no one there and it was really hot. But yeah, I come with friends sometimes. My friends one of them lives in Lapston, so she can go down the hill and I just meet her there. So yeah, it's a nice place.
Really nice. So you exploded onto the world stage, according to most people, because I think everybody expected something special with your parents and the history they have. I mean, your mother a 2-time world champion and your father a 5-time world champion, and this was in a time when world championships were only held every other year. So when you came onto this world stage, I think everybody was expecting a lot of things, but at the same time, everyone's going, okay, you're young, you're 16 years old, you know, you can't have too high expectations. I think you blew everybody out of the water when you showed up in Totson and finished 3rd in C1 on the podium and then 5th in kayaking. So it must have felt wonderful, but did your parents hold you back until that point, till you were allowed to go onto the world stage, or was it just sort of, it just naturally came to be that way?
I'm not sure. It was kind of, I think I've been lucky with my progression. It's been quite fast, and I just want to keep improving and just keep everything in perspective. I know I had really good results last year. I mean, I wouldn't have imagined it at the beginning of the year.
But you'll take it.
Yeah,
for sure.
So yeah, I just want to keep improving as much as I can, and well, yeah, it's not like they held me back. They just encouraged me to, you know, keep doing it, enjoying it, and I think, yeah, that's what I did. I just raced to my ability, and it was a tough course out there on Totson, so anything could happen to others, and yeah, just went with it.
Yeah, it was certainly challenging. I'm sure that preparation for all that, I mean, here in Australia, in Penrith, where, I mean, this is home for you, so the world comes to you, essentially, for training partners and to get to watch the world's best around you, and just the environment must be unbelievable when it's in your back door. So tell us a little bit about the environment here and the training and how that's impacted you.
I love this time of year. It's just all the best in the world come, and this year there's actually a lot of people here for the race, so that's going to be great. It's going to be a really world-class event. Yeah, I've pretty much grown up on Penrith, and we're really lucky to have such a great course. It's like the Olympic course, so when everyone from Europe comes, it kind of gives it that little European feel,
European flair.
And yeah, I just love going down and try and watch as many people as I can and learn from them.
So what are your plans moving forward from now? I mean, we spoke with David Ford a few days ago, and he's sort of nearing the end of his career, and you're very much at the beginning of your career. Have you thought about life after paddling?
Not really. Like,
I'd be a train behind us if you hear that.
At the moment, I'm in my last year of school, so I'm really focusing on that, and it's going to be hard balancing both paddling and school, but I want to get really good results just to then be able to get into uni and choose what I want to do. Yeah, I want to be able to set up something for after paddling, but I have no idea what that is yet.
Fair enough. So this is February here in Australia. For everybody in the Northern Hemisphere, February is the equivalent of September. So are you in school right now?
Yeah, I started on the 31st of January. Actually missed the first day because I was in New Zealand for the race, but I'm back at school and go till around November.
Okay. So that must be challenging. I mean, for the Northern Hemisphere, the summer sports kind of falls and all the racing season falls into their off season for school. But for you, that falls into the middle of your school. So how does that work for you? Do you do some correspondence? Do you do tests on the road? How do you balance?
Last year I was lucky that I was actually in year 11, which isn't as important as this year. So I decided I'd take 3 months and go overseas and train and compete, get all the experience, and my teachers were really supportive of me, and they sent me work over the internet, and I didn't do as much as I should have, but I really tried to do.
You're kind of busy, you know, wielding World Juniors and such, so yeah.
So this year I'm not going to travel as much, well, depending on the selections, but we'll see. Hopefully I can keep doing that correspondence and balance both.
This is a fairly big year just because qualifications are going to be starting for London Olympics. This will be a home Olympics essentially for your father, even though he's really Australian now. It's all mixing up all these nationalities. But do you consider that a little bit of a home Olympics for you just because of the tie with your dad, the history he has with that nation, and do you have an in for training in London?
I think at the moment nobody really does. I think we don't know what's happening. But
even the Brits are challenged, I think, to get on the course.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's exciting. Every Olympics is really exciting, and I'm, hoping I'm going to try out for it, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, being in London, I suppose having that connection, but I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And then how about, it will be stiff competition. I mean, it's only one women's K1 and women's C1 is not in the Olympics just yet. So it's going to be stiff competition. How do you feel about that competition? And are you just going to give it your best and see how it goes?
Yeah, definitely. It's really tough for us because there's only one spot. Yeah. And there's, 4 or 5 of us who are quite close and good paddling buddies. And so we'll see. But yeah, I'll definitely give it my best, and I'll be out of school by then, so
that'll help.
Yeah.
A little more time. So we also recently spoke with Daniela Momenti. We had cooking with Daniela Momenti. So I'm just wondering, what do you enjoy eating? What's your favorite food pre-race? But then also, can you cook?
I'm not the best cook, but I can get by. I can cook the basics like pasta and stuff. I'm pretty good at cooking like cakes and that sort of thing.
I like the sweets.
Yeah, and my favourite food, I love my grandma's cooking. She's in the Mediterranean style, and yeah, I really like that. And pre-race, I guess, like most athletes, it's pasta and that kind of thing. Yeah.
So who's the cook in your house? Your mother Miriam or your father?
My mum's a good cook, but my dad does most of the cooking. He enjoys mixing it up and.
All right,
he's Jamie Oliver sometimes.
Perfect. So, who's the tougher coach? Your mum's known for being able to make some athletes cry. So, who's the tougher coach?
Mum's my coach most of the time, and she, I guess she taught me, determination and really making the most of every session and stuff like that. She's competitive and sets the high standard. And Dad, I guess I do a lot of my cross-training stuff with him. I do sprint paddling, and that's quite tough. He pushes me hard in that. And yeah, he kind of reinforces the basics and, vintage style paddling. But they're both, I'm lucky to have that. The best of both worlds, because they both, have great experience, and I hope I can learn as much as I can from them. So,
do you think you'll ever have a coach that isn't your mother or father?
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't thought of it.
Yeah. Fair enough. So, looking towards just this season, you mentioned you won't be traveling as much. Will you be competing in all the World Cups and the World Championships, or what's your plan?
Oh, well, actually, we have our selection trials for the Australian Open, and then in March, so that'll actually determine what I do this year. But if I get selected, I'm hoping to do most of the World Cups and the Worlds, but depending on where that falls in school time with my assessments and exams, it's quite hard. But now that you already have the title for the World Junior Championships in K1 and then also in C1, are you going to still put an emphasis on trying to get to the World Juniors, or are you going to kind of be like, okay, I've been there, done that, I've won those titles? How do you feel about the World Juniors moving forward? Well, unfortunately, they're only every 2 years for us, so the next one...
Which is crazy! Anyways, go on.
The next one is in 2012, so I'd like to... It's in America, and I'd really like to go to America. I've never been there and race there, so yeah, maybe... We'll see. Hopefully,
stop by Canada, come visit us.
Definitely. I would love to go America and Canada and defend the title, but we'll see how that goes in 2012.
Yeah, and at that point you'll be finished school, and 2012 will be a busy year if depending on how things go in qualifying.
I'm hoping to travel a bit, have some freedom away from school, and take a gap year, and just go see the world.
Do you have any advice for some of the young paddlers out there who are watching? I mean, most 16-year-olds aren't at the top of their game in anything in their life. They're kind of figuring themselves out. Do you have any advice for young paddlers, but also just young women who want to get involved in something that makes them as passionate and as excited about paddling as you do?
I think it's, I guess, like everything, you know, everyone always says, you know, you have to practice, you have to enjoy it, and I think, yeah, that's a big part of it. I really enjoy the paddling. Every time I go out on the water, it's, you know, it's a new session, everything's different, so it's really fun for me. And also, yeah, I really focus on what I need to improve and everything, but I like to learn from others, from just watching and observing, and I think that's how I grew up, and I was kind of dragged along by the side of the river, so I was always watching. So yeah, just enjoyment and practice.
And you mentioned just your friends in the sport. Are most of your friends in the sport of canoe kayak, or are most of your friends just a mix of school friends and paddling friends, or like where do you find most of your support emotionally?
Oh yeah, I have a mix. Like I have really close friends at school with whom I share, you know,
School
whinging
things.
about school and subjects, but then I have really my best friends in paddling, and yeah, it's great having that balance as well, so I can, you know, discuss school problems with my friends at school, and they understand my life in sport, and they know that I can't always come to the parties and everything, but I try not to miss all of them. And, yeah.
Well, thank you for coming here. Thank you for joining us here. This is wonderful. Thank you for sharing this beautiful piece of the world with us. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
No.